What we're after is what you seriously think is possibly the healthiest way to sit at a chair in an office.
Well, I can reveal this is how the Stig actually sits in a chair. Yeah.
So you've all gone for very unusual postures.
Yes, I love those. I love those.
The head just came off mine and he revealed himself to be Action Man.
I knew it. Well, you're all doing very interesting shapes.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good for his back, is it?
Oddly enough, Clarkson wins on that.
Well, it's not difficult. They've all just got
yeah, but no, you actually win because you're right, not just because you're least wrong. The idea was that sitting up straight was supposed to be good for your posture and good for your back. It's actually quite a steep backward, 130-odd degrees, is much better for you. They're the ways not to sit, that's the way to sit. It's a bit unfortunate you can often slip off your chair. It looks lazy, so bosses never like seeing people do it, but you can say it said on QI, so it must be true. Or you can point to the research that has been done.
I don't know if this is possible. You know how if you use a chair, like a lion tamer uses a chair, would that repel a cat?
That's how you start, I guess. Yeah. You start with one of those just on a cat, and then you build up through the feline species.
Really? In working with the lion, you start with a smaller chair? I would have
with a cat. You start with a cat and a small chair.
I was starting with a lion, but with a really huge chair.
No, you start with a small cat and a small chair.
I see what you're doing.
Use Stig to show me where the nasty man touched you, Alan.
Stephen.
No! Right, put them all away now, children. Thank you. Good
this must have been...
Yes, go on.
You know, I've got bloody Jim Henson next to me. Yeah. Look, actually, look. What we can do is we can have our very own mock execution.
What we need now is a saw, and there you go.
Oh! Just because he revealed his identity in a book, you've got to fry him. It seems unfair. Moving on. If you can put away your toys now, please, because thank you. Let's have an ingenious interlude now. I want you all to make a homopolar motor. And you should have a bowl with these. This was first done in 1820 by one of the great scientists of the world. And it's actually rather amazing. You've got a wood screw, you've got a magnet, you've got a piece of wire, and you've got a battery, obviously.
What was it, a homophobic motor, did you say?
No, homopolar.
Homopolar.
Homopolar. It means you get rather depressed and you're gay. So, no shushy nonsense.
Sir, what do you have to do?
What's the tape behind?
The tape.
The tape behind. Oh, there's a man in
Take the screw in your...
You're touched.
Right hand. With the... What?
What's he doing now? Is that just stuck to the... What's he done? Oh, I see that.
Oh. That's it.
OK, hang on.
That's it.
Holy moly, if this works.
The extraordinary thing is how fast it goes round.
Jesus.
It spins round so
fast.
fast.
Oh, yeah!
It really
It's still going! I'm not even connecting!
Why doesn't mine work?
Why is that working?
Look at that.
And what happens if I was to use the power from the buzzer and just...
It's still going without the wire being involved.
It's slowing down, isn't it?
It's what?
It's slowing down. You can't,
You don't need the wire.
It's still at some...
Your finger might be completing the circuit.
I've got sparks!
Dropped it down there.
Oh, dear. Perhaps you could be kind... Thank you. There you are. Michael Faraday demonstrated it all that time ago, in 1820.
So strong.
And the ingenious thing about it is, as you see, that the speed at which it goes around, there's almost no friction. It goes around about 10,000 RPM. All right, now, into the ice-cold shower of general ignorance we plunge ourselves. So, put your fingers on your buzzers if you could, and if they're still working, Ross. We live in a spiral galaxy, don't we? Yes, thank you.
Fine.
We live in a spiral galaxy called the Milky Way. How many arms does that spiral have? Yes.
2.
No.
Nobody knows.
Yes, you're right, we don't know. Very good. And the reason we don't know is because we're inside it, and we could possibly know. Yeah, because we're right inside it. We can see distant galaxies and count their arms, but our own, when you're inside, you can't tell. So it's as simple as that. There you go. Now, can you be bothered to tell me what make and model of car this is? Yes?
Oh, it's a three-wheeler. What are they called? You drove one hilariously when the programme kept falling over around corners.
Is it a Robin Reliant?
No. A Robin Reliant?
It's a Robin. I'm just really mean of it because I knew someone was going to do that. Because everyone calls it a Robin Reliant.
It's not a Robin Reliant or indeed a Reliant Robin. That is the Regal Supervan.
Yes.
The actual Robin was a different model, but for some reason that's the one that's stuck in everyone's head.
Right.
And there's the one that gets in the way of Mr. Bean in his Mini as well. People think that's a Robin Reliant, but in fact they are these Regal Supervans. I believe you have driven a Reliant Robin. Would you like to remind yourself of that experience?
Yes, this was setting off in it. Sheffield.
It was Sheffield, was
It
it?
was in Sheffield, and you get to the very first corner. And that was a fast one, and then it rolled over again. And then it rolled over all day. Then it rolled over again, and then it rolled in the river.
No, apparently letters came to your office once saying that if Mr. so-called Jeremy Clarkson
On so-called gear,
knew how to drive the Robin,
Yeah.
he would know that you cannot drive it at speed. Yes, as if you were all incredibly disappointed by that.
Yes.
sort of-
Oh, no, it's rolled over again. I must remember to drive more
dear.
carefully. It's a completely boring road test.
So I believe you then challenged the Stig to drive it on the track.
He rolled it over.
On the first corner.
It's unbelievably comfortable to roll over it. You'd be very surprised as it flops over. I don't know why, it's the shape of the front wings, and it's just, oh, that's nice. Because, you know, it's quite annoying to be sitting bolt upright, and everybody looks a bit idiotic when they drive. Everybody does. If you actually look at people in a car, and so to just think, I'm a bit weary, and they just go, oh, yes, and have a lie down.
I once flipped a Land Rover. I had a Land Rover. So the thing went over, and bang, like, went onto its roof, onto its side. I was my wife's lip gloss hit me in the face. And then the sat-nav that was on the dashboard just came crashing down, and I was lying there, and the dust was all over the place like that, and the sat-nav went, off route, recalculate.
It's possible to do a U-turn.
It was a marvellous... I've just remembered when we did the rolling the Reliant Robin over, needless to say, health and safety got involved. And they made us take every single thing out of the car, including my cigarettes and cigarette lighter, lest these catapult themselves around and smack me in the eye. So every single thing had to be taken out. And then they put in this sort of, those window-breaking hammers with a very sharp point, very substantial piece of steel, a window punch. And they put that in the centre console. And the abiding memory I had as the thing was with this spike. The safety equipment bloody nearly took my head off.
Well, that's unhealth and lack of safety gone mad. I'm thinking of training as either a doctor or a vet, obviously. I want the... oh, good God. I want the shortest possible course. Which should I choose? Which is the quickest one to become?
I'll do it. OK, ready?
Yeah.
Doctors. There you go.
Yes, people have it in their heads that for some reason it takes longer to qualify as a vet than as a doctor. In fact, it doesn't. By about 2 years, it doesn't. A veterinary degree takes 5 or 6 years, depending on the course. But to become British GP, you must train for a minimum of 9 years. There's 5 years, you may get the word doctor, but at least... and then 12 years if you're going to be a hospital consultant. So.
How long was it for vets?
Vets was, well, depends on the course, but 5 or 6 years.
OK.
Yeah.
And then they have the highest suicide rate, do they not, of any job? Because the only people who want to be vets are people who love animals.
Yes.
And most of the time you're...
They just, what you do is I love animals. I so want to be a vet when I grow up. And you study for 6 years, and then all you do is drive around the countryside killing animals. My dog's not well. My horse, it's been in the family. Eventually, it's going to get to you. Eventually, you're just going to get fed up with
If you're doing them 3 at a time, it's surely already. And also, you're not quite as emotionally attached as you previously were. You're popping them gang styley. You're doing it on the back. You're lining them up 3 in a row to see how many you can do with them.
I mean, I'm sometimes terrified when our vet comes to shoot the donkeys or the horses. Shoot
Donkeys or a horse. Donkey or horse, you decide. when you did that sound effect there, that's the end of EastEnders. You said it. So now, in my head, every time I watch EastEnders, and they just go...
Horses are dying.
It should have been leave you now, and you just hear... Doo-doo. I'm just going to imagine bleeding donkeys falling.
It should have been the music for James Herriot. That's what it should have been. And now, all creatures great and small.
That's how it starts.
Well, the fact is, it will take you at least 9 years to train as a GP, whereas vets can do it in 5. Now, which gets more from charity in the UK? Animals or humans?
Oh, it's donkey sanctuaries, like it's animals.
No, we like to think of ourselves as an animal-loving thing, and we like to tell stories of how mad people have given huge sums to donkey sanctuaries or whatever, but in fact it always has been the case that far and away the most money we give is to human charities, and in particular one kind, if you can...
Well, actually, children's charity...
No, not children's charity. That isn't the...
Is it
cancer?
Oh,
obviously some
children riding on the backs of sick donkeys.
Yeah.
You give a lot more to animals than you do to the old.
That may be true.
Yes.
They've just amalgamated the two major old people's charities, haven't they, at the time? And I don't have those figures.
Sorry, I thought you did amalgamated animals and old people. Which would be what you've created there is a sort of what you've done. What you've done.
They've got it with venison, and they're called old deers.
Yeah.
Basically, yes, cancer research gets the most by massively in front. Children's charities do well, and obviously some of those are also cancer-related, but not as well as the National Trust. The National Trust gets more money than children's charities do. The RSPCA is Britain's favourite animal charity, but even that has never been in the top 10 of British giving. Which brings us ambling idly towards the scores and what reading they make. In last place, with an impressive minus 15, Dara O'Brien. And lounging lazily behind him on +1, Jeremy Clarkson. Just a little bit ahead there, though, on +4, it's Ross Noble. And in an episode which is all about indolence, who would ever have thought that the day would come when I'd say that our runaway winner with +12 is Alan Davis? Well, that's all from this indolent edition of QI, so it's good night from Dara, Jeremy, Ross, Alan and me. And if it's any consolation to our losers, I'll leave them with these wise words from James Thurber. It's better to have loafed and lost than never to have loafed at all. Good night.